Okay, so it is also possible to modify that range of particular plots. Okay, so here it will consider range or whole range, not whole range, but we can say that it is from 0 to 2 pi. और ये जैसे ये पैराबोला लगेगा उतने तक ये it will change. Okay, it's plot range. So this is how it works. Then we have also certain plot styles, dash, directives, edge form, and so on.
Sir, will you please explain the show part? Show command.
बंद कर होल्ड कर
Regarding this. Okay, but as we have discussed this previously, that it is also possible to consider that range differently, and that can be achieved using this syntax. You see, okay. Now consider this x0 minus 9 for from minus 4 to 4, and consider the sin x from 0 to 2 pi. Okay.
So exactly what is the difference between show and plot?
See, they will do or they will give same output.
Because
No, yes, I understand. So they will give you same output, but thing will see if we have many functions. Okay, if you want to draw a graph of many functions, and we wanted afterwards we wanted to modify it, then using this terminology it will be convenient.
show.
Yes. For example, now in place of showing them in single frame, suppose we wanted to show them in column form, then I have to use this command, like graphics.
Graphics is column.
Yes. Again, we have to do some modifications, further modifications. But here, this terminology is more convenient. जब हमें ये अलग-अलग रिप्रेजेंटेशन चाहिए फंक्शंस के, तब ये ज़्यादा कन्वीनियंट रहेगा. Yes. So here, within this plot only, I have to consider that two different aspect ratios, and then we will use that same show command. So these are the other several options. And we are running out of time because we have to discuss one more. One is for implicit function and the other is regarding explicit function. Yes. This is an option. This is what we consider for the control. Okay. This is three-dimensional plot, and it was previous was two-dimensional.
There are also 3D plot also, right?
Yes. Contour plot
Means what?
will draw 2D graph. Contour plot 3D will draw three-dimensional graph.
3D.
Yes.
One is curve and another is surface.
Is there
Yes.
a difference between contour 3D plot and a single 3D plot.
These are the several options for 3D curves. That is contour plot 3D, parametric plot 3D, plot 3D, and so on. So those are options regarding three-dimensional graphs.
For polar equations?
Yes,
Polar equations?
that we will discuss later. Yeah, in next lab itself. So this is what we can consider this manipulation and contour plot 3D together. Okay. So here I have considered this intersection of pole and that plane. So we know that conic sections are that circle, ellipse and parabola. But it is very difficult to visualize for student or for beginner. But using this demonstration, it is all very trivial. You can see that this says this intersection is ellipse. Okay. Now we change or orient the direction of this plane. So it will give me parabola. Okay. We can shift this and now we can see that it is this intersection is nothing but circle. Okay, we have to be careful for. So this is how we can demonstrate this graph. So next is parametric plot 3D. So this is your syntax. Parametric plot 3D, he will write, here we will write that whatever equation he wanted to draw graph for that. So I have here, I have considered three graphs. Sorry, this is parametric plot. So I have considered these three components. And it is the same thing which I have demonstrated earlier. Next part is also important. And it is useful for doing programming. So first function we are considering is do. So suppose we wanted to do some repeated task or a task which if so certain conditions are satisfied or not satisfied, then this terminology, that means looping and condition statements are used. Okay. So for example, first our function is do. So its syntax is do, then we will write expression and this value for I. By default, if we just simply write I max, our I will start from 1 and it will go to I max. Okay. Now it is also possible to specify different I's also. Here I have considered this I from minimum to maximum. Here that's step value will be 1 or difference will be 1. So it is also possible to change the steps also. step size. Yes. So let us consider this first example. Here I have written this statement for printing value of k for k as 1, 2, 3. So it will print 1, 2 and 3. So let us see how this works. So first of all, it will consider value of k as 1. Then it will statement is 2. So it will print this value of k for 1. Then it will do one increment in the value of k, and it will check whether this condition is satisfied or not. That is, whether this value which we are considering as increment is less than or equal to 3 or not. So that value of k, new value of k is 2, it is less than 3, so that condition is satisfied, and then since this condition is satisfied, it will execute this statement. So now my new latest value of k is 2, so it will print 2. Then again, after executing this, it will again go into this loop, and again it will do one increment, 2. So it will be becomes 3. So now this 3 is lesser or equal to 3, and that is why this condition is satisfied. And after this condition will satisfy, it will execute this expression. That is, it will print value of k for k is equal to 3. So let us see what this will give us if we combine. So it will print 1, 2 and 3. Now suppose we wanted to print this 2 to the power k. And before that, as we discussed, if we do not mention what is our lower limit, then by default it will consider 1. Now, it is also possible to start from 1. To start from value which is greater than 1 or different than 1, provided it is yes. So I am considering this lower limit to upper value as 8. Then it will print from 2 to 8. But here I have considered this increment of 1. That is, step size is 1. It is also possible to change this step size. So for that, I have to consider or mention that step size in this 4th entry. Okay, first is regarding that variable which you are considering or parameter which you are considering. Then second is regarding lower limit or starting value. Provided we are considering these 3 values. If we write k, 2 only, it will consider k starting from 1 ending to 2. But if we write this k, 2 and 8, it will consider 2 is starting value, 8 is ending value, and step size is 1. And in order to mention this step size, we will mention it here. So let us change the step size of 2. It's okay, it's okay. Done. Thank you. So here we have considered this step size 2. So it will print me, or it will give me 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. Now here we have written program for printing 2 raised to k. Now I am considering starting value 0, ending value -2. So what I am considering? I am considering increment. So I am considering that step size as -1. Okay. So I am considering increment from 0 to minus 2. So it will print, first it will print 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to minus 1, 2 raised to minus 2. Clear? So this is a very important terminology as far as this programming is concerned. So this will give me this output. That is, again, I am considering this value of k from 1 to 5. Step size is 1. What I am printing? K squared is k squared. So you can see that this value, first of all, it is considered value of k is 1. Okay, so 1 squared is 1 squared, that is 1. 2 squared is 4, and so on. Okay. Now it is also possible to consider this non-integer step size and non-integer starting and ending value. So I am considering step size as 1.2 and my starting value is 1.6, so it will do increment of 1.2. Now, just consider value of x is 9. Okay. Now, what this will give as output that we have to see. So I have written only 3 into curly bracket. So this value, whatever this loop, we consider starting value as 1, ending value as 3. So my loop will enter 3 times for 1, 2 and 3 because I consider this step default step size, that is 1. Now, first of all, it will print x. What is my value of x? 9. So it will print 9. Now it will do increment of 1. So it will consider 2. Then, not only that, it will not do one increment of step 1, but it will consider this statement, that is x is equal to square root of x. So my the value of x is 9, so it will consider square root of 9, that is 3. So whatever this right hand side will be stored in latest value of x. So first of all, it will print 9, then 3, then again it will do increment of 1, so it will consider value as 3, then again it will consider this expression. Now the latest value of x is 3, so it will consider square root of 3 and it will store that value in x. So we will get output as
Why there is a semicolon there?
because it is there are couple of statements, so that is why they are separated by semicolon. This no. So this is combination of two expressions. Okay.
So it shows 90 and 3.
Yes. That is because somewhere we have considered this value, and that is why I have to shut down this.
Okay.
And that is taking start. this we will check. Because previously it was showing me 9, 3 and square root 3, but due to some changes, it is giving the output like this. But I will check that, and it was previously showing this output in this way, that is 9, 3 and square root 3, that is desired. But we will check it. This is also an important statement, that is if condition. So this is its syntax. If, then first of all we have to write first condition. If this condition is satisfied, then this statement will be executed. And if this condition is false or not satisfied, then this statement will be executed. So this is how what the syntax of if statement. So now we wanted to write a mathematical program to check whether x is equal to y or not. So first of all, we have to enter these values of x and y, and then we need to check whether this x is same as y or not. We wanted to write this small program. So what we do?
X equal to 5 semicolon 5 equal to 3 semicolon.
Yes, very good, sir.
Then if x less than x double equal to
Yes.
x equal to y.
Yes. In order to check whether two numbers are same or not, we will use double equal sign.
Double equal.
Yes. And in order to check whether the parameters or numbers are same or not, we will use
Single.
three times equal sign. For one single sign, equal sign is regarding assignment. You see, right? X is equal to 3, then 3 will assign to x. So, exactly, this is the same program. Okay, here I will use input additionally. So, I will consider this x as input, y as another input, and I will check whether this x is same as y or not. If this condition is still satisfied, then it will print x is equal to y. If this condition is not satisfied, it will not print this, but it will execute this statement. And as we can see, this color of x is not blue. That is, something is stored in this x. That is why what we have to do, we have to clear value of x. So now it is turned to blue color. So nothing is stored in this x. So you can check. Let us consider this value of x as 7. Value of, now this tells us enter value of 1. Okay, so let us enter value which we have considered earlier, and since those two values which we have considered is same, this is what we get as output. X is equal to 1. Similarly, sorry, sir?
That window.
That is regarding input.
How can we?
This is regard for that. The syntax is input.
How can we bring that window?
Yes, sir.
He's asking how what the dialog box.
It is using input command. So if we just simply since I have not put this semicolon at the end of y previously, it is showing me this 5, and then since 5 is not equal to 4 is not equal to 5, it will give me this output without that dialog box. So this command input is for getting the dialog box. This is what we wanted to do next. We wanted to write mathematical program to bring absolute value of x. Yes. But we do, yes, it is predefined function for absolute value. Now we wanted to write program for that absolute value using if and if it is we can use do, but it will be done using if statement only. Using if statement, we wanted to write a program to find absolute value of x.
If x is greater than 0,
Yes, exactly.
the value of x.
So, first of all, we will enter this value of, or we will ask the value of x. Then, if that value of x is greater than 1, then you consider x is equal to x, or absolute value as x. If it is less than 1, then you consider it as minus x.
So, would you please zoom that window?
Is it visible? So, here it will ask the user that what is value of x. Then, if that value of x is greater than 0, if this condition is satisfied, it will print this statement. If this condition is not satisfied, it will print this statement.
Ravi sir, exam duty.
Let us consider minus 4. So absolute value of minus 4 is 4. Then next is again it is loop regarding looping, and it will do similar task. So here this is a statement or syntax. First we will write 4, then it will consider, or we have to consider starting value, then we have to write condition. So it will check whether this condition is satisfied or not. Then we have to write increment value, and then we will write whatever we wanted to execute. Okay. So, for example, if you wanted to print 1 to 5, what will you write? So, for what is our starting value? So, we have to mention our starting value. That is, I am considering I as our index. So, I is equal to 1. Now, we have to consider that conditional statement. So, you have to stop at 5. So, I am considering I less than equal to 5. I need to consider increment of 1. So that increment of 1 can be considered for using this I plus plus. This will do increment of 1. And what we wanted to do? We wanted to print that I. ये क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि it is in I have already written this statement and I have rewritten since that is why I am getting this output 2 times. Okay, so what I have and I have put these 2 statements in one single input cell. So I have to remove one. This is for loop. This is again looping statement. But whenever we wanted to consider finite or enter into the loop finite times, then we will use either do or for. But whenever we wanted to enter this loop infinitely many times, then this while is useful. So this is its syntax. That is, first we have to consider this conditional statement, then body. So here I consider this value of n as 2, and I consider that while this n is less than 4, I wanted to print n, and I am considering that increment of 1. So what will be done here? Or what will be the output? So first of all, it will consider that value of n as 2. Then 2 is, it will enter into this loop. Now it will check whether that value of n is less than 4 or not. So first of all, our value of n is 2. So 2 is less than 4. So this condition is satisfied. Then it will print 2. Then it will increment 1. So now the latest value of 2 n is 3. So if you can check whether 3 is less than 4 or not. So yes, it is less than 4. So it will print 3 and it will increment or do increment of 1. So now latest value of n will be 4. 4 is not less than 4. So it will stop. Okay.
What is the double plus meaning increment 1?
It will increment 1.
You want to increment 2?
Sorry sir, but I wish you to explore that using help.
See, n plus 2 here हो जाएगा ना?
Yes, but you have to explore from your side. That is what I wanted. So this is the desired outcome. Okay, so this is end of this presentation on this sensible. Now, if you have some doubt, we can discuss. और जब मुझे लगता है कि आप कर सकोगे, तो मैं वो नहीं बताऊंगा.
So where this loop and conditional statement are useful for us?
See, when we are doing some programming, okay, where there are certain conditions, certain increments, then these conditions will be helpful. For example, I am from relativity or yes. So suppose we wanted to find Cristobal symbols. Okay. Then how to find, or how to, suppose I wanted to make a program to calculate Cristobal symbols. Then what will be our procedure? First of all, we'll consider metric tensor, component of metric tensor. We'll check whether there is any ill condition or not. That is the determinant of that. If we make, first of all, we will make matrix out of those components. We will check whether determinant is 0 or not. So if condition is satisfied, we are using if condition there. Then we will find inverse. Okay, that will be discussed in next sessions. So inverse of that matrix. Okay, then we have to find partial derivative of metric tensor, and for getting that output of component, that is gamma 11, gamma 112, we can use for loop. Okay, यहाँ पे ये चीजें helpful होगी.
Just now we have seen that particular example for in while loop. That example can also be done for if loop also.
Yes, that can be done. But as we discussed, while loop is will enter into the loop infinitely many times until that condition is satisfied or not. But for using for and do, it will enter into the loop finitely many times only. If is a conditional statement, so that is regarding checking whether this condition or whatever the condition we are considering, we will what will happen if this condition is satisfied, then what we have to do, or if it is not satisfied, then what we have to do. That is use of if statement. So for do and while are looping statements.
For do and while.
For do and while, and if is conditional statement. Yes, sir. So if there is no doubt, then we can so Ravi sir, so what is our next
we can continue like next session.
I think this first session is from 9:30 to 11.
Right.
Okay. Now
11:30. So if participants need, then they can take a 5-minute break.
ये 2 घंटे का या 1.5 घंटे का? 2 घंटे का. Okay, so we have that problem set also for today.
Yes.
Today. So we request
It
you
is-
to distribute this problem set.
Set to
Then we have to give path of this this Excel file. So we'll go to insert. Then this is the option, that is file path. We'll go to file path. I put that file on desktop, and this is my Excel file from which I wanted to import this data. So I just select the path. This is my path of the Excel file. Let us consider or store these values, Excel values, in A. So if I compile this, you can see now it is converted into array. So this is my x1, this is corresponding y1, this is x2, y2, x3, y3 and so on. Okay? Now, using this data, I wanted to plot this graph. So that option is list plot. A. So this is graph corresponding to that data. There are other options also. So it is also possible, or that another option is list line plot. So in place of this dotted lines, you will get this plot. Okay. So this is also possible.
Sir, these graphs
Yes.
are all line graphs. Is it
Yes.
possible to draw a bar graph?
Now I have just showed you that path. Now you have to explore more.
Sir, can you send the booking to your previous lecture?
Yes. First of all, okay, this one like an English. ठीक से ध्यान देना है. First of all, it will consider I is equal to 1. Then it will proceed to this. Okay? Then our I is equal to 1. 1 is less than or equal to 6. True. Then it will, without since it has entered this in this loop for the first time, then it will go to this. Okay. Now it will consider value of j as 1. Then j it will check whether that j is equal to 1 is less than or equal to whatever the value of j is less than or equal to 6 or not. So yes, it will print I. What is my value of I? 1. Now, without going out of this loop, it will again continue in this loop. So now, after this, value of j will be 2. So again, it will check whether 2 is less than or equal to 6 or not. That is that latest value of j is less than or equal to 6 or not. So yes, so it will again print 1.
So 1 will be printed 6 times.
6 times.
Not only 6 times. Because
Okay,
it will print
6
6
times.
times
36 times.
regarding this j. After considering all this value of j, it will now after considering j is equal to 7, okay. For j is equal to 7, this condition is not satisfying, and that is why our loop will be a break, and it will again reach to here. Now, for this one loop, my value of I was 1, and j was 1 to 7. Now it will again go into this loop. Then it will proceed or increment. It will look increment of of 1 in I. So now my value of I will becomes 2. Then it will check all these conditions. ये व्हाइट बोर्ड है. ओके, सो अब तो सबको याद रह गया होगा, ठीक है. सो now my latest value of I will be 2. Now it will enter into that j loop. So again it will consider, J will consider from 1 to 6. After becoming 7, that condition will not satisfy. So ये अब हम ये कैसे वो समझ सकते हैं ज़्यादा अच्छी तरह से? देखिए, ये जो हमारा फ्लोर है ना, वो I है, और यहाँ पे जो क्लासेस है ना, वो J है। तो हम क्या करेंगे? फर्स्ट फ्लोर, ग्राउंड फ्लोर पर जाएंगे। So that is regarding I is equal to 1. So what we do? We will enter in each class. So after all this, we just go to all these classes. Now after that only I can reach to the second floor. So I1 के लिए I is equal to 1 के लिए ग्राउंड फ्लोर है, J के लिए हम सभी क्लासेस में वो घूमेंगे। जब सब वो क्लासेस खत्म हो जाएंगे ना, तब हम फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे आएंगे। फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे जितने क्लासेस हैं वो सब पे जाएंगे, then we will go to the next floor. So this is how this nested for loop is working. Okay?
आउटपुट जो है वो पहले 6 टाइम 1 1 प्रिंट होगा, देन नेक्स्ट 6 टाइम वो 2 2 प्रिंट करेगा।
नहीं, 1 ही प्रिंट, सॉरी 2 2 प्रिंट करेगा, सॉरी प्रिंट 2 प्रिंट करेगा। So what will be the output? 1 time 6 times 1, 6 times 2, and so on.
It is just like the composition table.
Now we wish to print 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4, and then 2 1 2 2 2 3 2 4. अब उसके आगे जाएंगे। सपोज हमें 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4, 2 1 हमें नहीं प्रिंट करना है, 2 2 2 3 2 4 3 3 3 4 और 4 4। अगर हमें वो प्रिंट करना है तो क्या करेंगे? ठीक है, तो वो चीजें क्या कैसे होगी? फर्स्ट फ्लोर पर ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे जाएंगे, तो सपोज उसमें 6 क्लास है, तो 6 के 6 में वो हम घूमेंगे। हमारे 6 मंजिला बिल्डिंग है, ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे हमें 6 क्लास में हो जाएंगे, फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे 5 क्लास में, 4 3 2 और 1। अब मैंने वो सिमिलर लॉजिक आपको बता दिया। नाउ यू हैव टू डेवलप दैट लॉजिक। ओके,
So please now focus on the presentation. This exercise is problem sets you can do during your off time also. So please do it. Our next discussion is on array matrices, etc. in Mathematica. So this slide just for your reference how Mathematica is used. You can see that in physical sciences and engineering, the highest, both of them comprise almost 50% of its use. Right? Mathematical science is also there. So Mathematica is widely used. Our focus of this workshop is to bring you to the level that afterwards you can use Mathematica by yourselves. And because of that only, we emphasize every time that something you have to try by yourself. But you are not alone. Help menu is there. So whenever you feel like doing something new, and if you don't get any idea, there are two options. One is try that word, English word, used for particular work. Right? This is one thing. If that doesn't work, and still if you feel that you need something else, something extra, something more, then go to the help. Right? In help, you will get whatever you want. This is my claim. Because I have learned Mathematica in that way till today. I'll give you an example. Today itself I could find out something which I can use afterwards. And it will be discussed for this purpose also. But there is something new every day. Right? As I talked in the last lecture, there are about 50,000 students. Right? If somebody starts teaching it, I repeat, teaching it, whole life will not be enough. So whatever you want, you get, right? And then learn by yourself. Anyway, so the matrices, arrays, they start from the single element. If I write X, you can regard X single entity as one by one array, one by one matrix. Right? Array is used for arrangement. And matrices mainly used mathematically. Right? So this is the difference. Otherwise, both of them have similar form. So a list is an object which may contain many objects. Like in our day-to-day life, if you make a list of things which you will carry while traveling, then it is a list. And the command for creating a list is list, list. Okay. Also, without using this command, simply start typing the items in the list, but they have to be enclosed in brackets, curly brackets. Right? Yesterday it was told that curly brackets are used for listing. If I write list, once it is command, then the operands must be enclosed in pair of square brackets. So list is a command, and therefore next is the square bracket, not the curly bracket. Right? Or alternatively, you can just write, say, PQRS inside a curly pair of curly brackets. In the first line, x is equal to some 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 3, 2, 8, 3, etc. I ended it with semicolon, and therefore immediate output was not there. Right? So you have to read carefully. In the next line, when I ask for what is the value of x, then this is not mathematics, of course, but then you will get the value of x. So if you don't want to repeat Mathematica, the immediate output, then terminate the line, the statement by semicolon. Okay? So that you have to keep in mind. Otherwise your program will become long and long. For example, if I write a 10 by 10 matrix, then that matrix if appears on the screen, then the original command is smaller one and then big output. So your screen will be covered by all those unnecessary outputs. Outputs are required, but not for display. So you have to write your program, write your notebook in such a manner that the important things are not covered. Now we can have many operations on the list. For example, algebraic operations like addition. If you have two lists of the same size, then also they can be added. By the way, this list can be used for vectors also. In vector, three-dimensional vector, there are three elements, right? So you can enclose them by pair of curly brackets, when you get that vector. So in the case of vectors, addition of vectors is possible only if they are of same size. Same thing here. Even you can manipulate your list by adding some objects, multiplying by some object, power of list, and many more operations can be performed. A list of numbers can be generated by prescribing some rules also. The command for list is range n. For example, if you want to make a list of n object, first n natural number, then you just write range n. It will give you, say, range 10, 1, 2, 3 up to 10. From m to n, from m to n, B stands for difference step size. Starting from m, keeping each step size of given d, you can create a list. Now some more examples I am giving. L1 is a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. L3 is this, right? Some 5 objects. You can think of L1 plus L2 because they are of the same size. L1 minus L2, once again they are of the same size, right? And therefore you can think of subtracting. Same L1, L2, L3 I am keeping here. You can say 3 plus L1, that is 1 plus 2, 1 plus 3, 2 plus 3, 3 plus 3 and so on, right? What is your expected output? L3 is given. You are writing 3 minus L3. What is expected output?
P minus plus P minus.
As such, there will be no display of output. Semicolon, right? But the correct output, yes, somebody was talking about 3 minus Gujarat, 3 minus Maharashtra, etc. While writing down, since I have used the names of states, I have started with capital letter. But if you want to make an arbitrary type of example, be careful that that word should not be a Mathematica command. Otherwise, starting with capital will be taken as a command. Right? You have to be careful. So, whenever you are giving some name to your entities, whatever entities you are going to use, symbols, avoid capital letter as the first letter. Avoid capital letter as the first letter. Because capital Mathematica commands start with capital letter, and there are many commands, right? And therefore, chances are there you come across some word, some symbol, which is as such a Mathematica command. That should be avoided, right? Whenever you are making some program, be careful, right? Okay. Total of numbers. Actually, it is not total, but better is sum of the entries in your list. Same thing you can do with list L3 also, right? Accumulate. What is this doing?
Cumulative addition.
Cumulative addition, right? Cumulative summation. Next of list L1, minimum of given list, right? So on and so forth. So this type of operations you can do. See, when list you have type, right? This mean, max,